Hey, everybody. Welcome to Beyond Magog, Friday Night Brainstorming. With me in studio, as always, is not gay Antoine.
Well, I don't know about not gay. I can definitely say it's ambiguous.
Right. In studio, as always, with me is Antoine, who is not gay. I fulfilled all my legal obligations.
I didn't know I jumped into a Steven Crowder stream. What happened?
I know, right?
You have a lot better set than Steven Crowder.
I do. I spend more time at flea markets than he does. This is what happens when you get money. You buy all new things, and then it's not interesting. It just popped into my head to do like the Steven Crowder opening simply because of that meme I made the other night. Because there's that meme going around with him sitting at his table. He does those videos, the change my mind videos, where he goes to a college campus, and I put on there Magog Morskar is our future overlord.
Well,
change my mind. And because I made that meme, it just popped into my head as soon as the stream started. I was like, in studio with me as always is Antoine, who is not gay. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the show. With me as a guest is Antoine. His channel is Help for the Guildless. I put the link in the description. Everybody go check out his stuff. Really cool. And he does a really awesome live stream called
Proper Villains.
Yes. I knew you would say it before I did. That's why I paused. I wanted you to say it in the voice.
I would say it's called Proper Villains Live. And live is all in caps because it has to show exactly how important it is that it is live.
And also, go over there, even if you don't believe me that it's a good show. Just at least go over there and check out some interesting artwork on that channel, because who did that for you? I don't remember who did all that art.
I honestly can't remember his name. It's this really, really nice guy.
Yeah.
Oh, I remember. His name is Magog. Magog did the art for me.
Yeah, I tell you, yeah. So that, and it all turned out pretty good. My idea.
Oh, it's gorgeous. I love it.
Yeah.
I've been putting it on everything. I've been printing it out on paper, shaving it down, sprinkling it on my cereal, getting really into character.
You're lucky I had ideas for you and had the time to do that, because that week it was like still kind of early in the semester and I hadn't had homework hit me yet, really. Now there would have been no way I could have got anything done for you.
No, I appreciate it. I don't mind me, fondling the balls a little bit, but I wasn't expecting it the next day. I was like, oh, he's going to do something cool. He's really busy. I expect it like, a month and a half from now. And it's like, oh, yes, you remember that artwork I was supposed to do for you? Here it is. So we were all blown away by it really quickly. And it's amazing. It was awesome.
So, yeah. Well, I had fun with that. I really did.
Except someone spelt a word wrong. Like a really important word.
Yeah, because when I finished it, it was like 3 a.m, and so I misspelled villains the first image I posted. Now I went back and changed it, so the ones I sent you guys were fixed.
Right,
but the very first image I tweeted out, it said villains with like was it IA instead of AI? Because I was just typing so fast. Sometimes that happens. That's why God invented spell check. So anyway, I did get a super chat just recently from Joseph Kerwayne. Magog, some large sea mammal died on my beach. Do you have a P.O. box yet? No, I don't have a P.O. box. And I'll tell you why here in a second. I do have some announcements for my fans. Is there a lag? I have no idea if there's a lag. Can someone tell me if there's a lag? Anybody else getting a lag?
None on my end.
Yeah. So it might be just you, man. Sorry. J Devil says horse walks into the bar. Bartender looks at the horse and goes, "What's with the long face?"
Dad jokes.
Everybody loves the classics. Classics never go out of style.
The very first joke my dad ever told me. Do you know why they put walls around cemeteries?
Why is that?
Because everyone's dying to get in. I didn't say it was a good joke. It's the first one you ever told me.
You know what the corniest joke I've ever heard is? This is literally the corniest joke I've ever heard. What kind of pants does Mario wear? Denim, denim.
Oh my gosh. Oh, it's so bad.
Denim.
It's so bad.
I got Rum Mug the Orc here, and Melissa Rapp is here, and Wasatch Jackalope, and I Fear Gasts, and Brad Young, and God, all my dedicated fans are here. This chat is swarming with mods. That's because like the past 2 live streams I've done, I got hit hard with bots. So I was like, give people I know wrenches so they can help get rid of these fuckers. Because it was bad, dude. It was just like N-word for like fucking ever. And then we banned them and another one would come in and it just, you know. And yes, I said N-word because I don't want my fucking channel shut down. Okay. I would have said it, but these days things are fucking Suit Yourself got his shit shut down. Do you think they're going to fucking think twice about me? Shit.
I heard he got something like 5 strikes. Like they went way overboard with that.
Yeah. He apparently it wasn't even. I mean, he got strikes all over the place, even for videos that were unlisted. Like the algorithm flagged some sort of thumbnail or something. Oh man, I don't know what the fuck they're doing these days. So anyway, if anybody wants to support me or the show, as usual, there's the super chats and there's also Streamlabs down below, and I'll be watching Streamlabs throughout the evening every now and again and reading those off. As usual, you don't have to give anything. I just thought I'd throw that out there for anybody who wants to help out. Already got 1 donation, actually, from Jack T. Ripper. All hail Lord Magog. Thank you so much, Jack. Appreciate it, man. So anyway, a few announcements. One of the reasons why I didn't get a P.O. box was I was kind of holding off getting a P.O. box until I moved because I really wanted to buy a piece of property and expand the show, and I didn't want to get a P.O. box here in this town if I ended up moving to another town. Then I'd have to do it all over again. So I was trying to hold off. But then they denied my loan. So, yeah. Even though they pre-qualified me, the loan officers was like, man, you got good credit, you got good you got a good revenue, you have a good income to debt ratio is real low because I don't have a lot of outstanding debt. He's like, we can get you a loan, man. But as soon as I sent in all my paperwork and everything and it went to the actual people who decided, it got kicked back. So, and I don't blame those loan officers. I mean, that's their job, is to try to get you to apply for a loan, Right. But they told me I qualified for at least like 120 to 150,000 with my credit score and everything, But turns out if you're self-employed, you have to make at least 30,000 a year for 2 years before they consider giving you a loan. Which is bullshit, because if I went and got a job at Walmart and made like 17,000 a year, I could get a damn loan. But for some reason, the internet thing and the self-employed thing is too big of a risk for a loan company.
It doesn't make any sense. I mean, people have to start understanding that YouTube, for the larger channels, is very lucrative. I mean, I follow Markiplier, and I know for a fact he made about $12 million last year. So it's lucrative. They need to understand that it's not just, that's just YouTube. People put a lot of effort and a lot of time and a lot of blood, sweat, and tears into their channels.
Well, it's not just that. I think loan agencies and, mortgage companies and things like that, they haven't really caught up with the times. They don't think that making money on the internet is a viable and reliable way to make money, which in many ways it isn't. I mean, we've already seen how badly YouTube people have gotten hit with the adpocalypse and everything. So maybe they're right in thinking that, but the truth of the matter is I simply just don't make enough money for them to be happy giving me a loan. So it looks like I'm stuck in this fucking apartment for at least another year. The finer print, I'm going to read this in the Magog voice. It's so good. Necromancy jokes are dead art. but they're good for raising the spirits. That is really good. You, sir, or lady, I don't know, have earned yourself a wrench.
Oh, Fina Print is a subscriber of mine, and he sent me a video, one of the reaction videos I did, and it's the Japanese one. He likes to torment me because he sent me a bunch of others that he wants me to react to.
Ah, yes. I think I saw that episode, actually. The weird Japanese, like the girl had a thing growing.
Yes.
Yeah.
And his testicles hung down beneath the chair. And
yes.
I still have nightmares.
Yep. So, but anyway, that's the big announcement. Is it looks like the sitcom and the whole building a studio and building the medieval village is put on hold. Probably won't be able to do it this year. Not unless I could like raise the money another way, and I just don't think I have the size of fan base I would need for that. I mean, I would need to have at least like 5,000 of my 25,000 fans give me like $1 a month, so I can make like $5,000 a month in order to fucking buy a property with cash in a few months. Or I'd have to do some sort of crowdfunding, and I just don't think I could raise the money, and I don't know if I feel comfortable doing it anyway. I did have the idea of selling autographed art prints, but so that people at least would get something in return for their donation, but they would also be buying it knowing that they're helping to expand the show.
Right.
So it's not just a give me money like a crowdfund Kickstarter thing.
Yeah.
You know.
I still find it hard to put out that I have, a Patreon or a Maker support or talking about super chats and things like that. It's just, I feel like I'm pushing myself on people. And if they ask, then I can't, like during the Proper Villains, I'll say, if you want to support the stream here, I put the Patreon link in there or something, but I don't try and push it too much.
Yeah, I have a thing at the end of every one of my videos where the book comes up and I'm trapped inside of it and the patron names are going by. And he'll, and I'll sit there and say, you check out the links below and all that stuff. But I don't do it like inside the video, and I don't do it before the video to try to get more exposure for it. Because I figured if anybody really wants to support me, they're going to find it. But maybe I should chill it out. I don't know, man. Asking for money just feels weird. Even though we as YouTube creators can't fucking survive without it. Without the fans right now, we'd all be fucked. Which is why I'm so grateful to you guys.
Well, I actually just had a patron-only live stream hangout yesterday, and I got to hang out with some of my patrons, and we just had a shit-talking session for like 3 hours. It was, I appreciate them so much because I couldn't, like you said, we can't do it without it.
Right.
I have a full-time job. I have a full-time family. Doing YouTube was supposed to be like a hobby, and now it's starting to actually pick up steam and start taking off, and I want to have them be happy with what they're getting from me. I want them to be happy with the product that I put out.
Right.
And if they're not, I get upset.
Right.
Like I still get upset when I lose one subscriber, and I want to know why they left. Did they not like was their channel shut down and they got booted off? Did they leave because they didn't like my last video?
I swore that every time I lost a subscriber, I'd kill a hooker out of anger. But then like Little Rock stopped having hookers. They all disappeared. And I had a lot of extra work to do, digging holes and stuff. So I gave that up pretty quick. Now I just punch a pillow. It's less therapeutic.
But it's not as messy. I mean, there's cleanup.
There's ups and downs. It's a double-edged sword. Nightmare says, I do more, but I'm doing the most. And then Nightmare also says, I forgot to mention no numbers, please. I don't want my husband to know. Okay, maybe I should have read that out loud. Oops. No, everybody who gives a little, it doesn't matter how much you give. I am so appreciative of everybody who gives and helps out to keep the show going, at least, Grim Razor says, thanks for having Antoine on. You both make excellent content. So happy he is able to do a collab with you, Magog. I fired him. We're not doing a collab anymore.
Yes, this is my consolation prize. I get to be the co-host for this live stream.
I'm joking. And then this guy's probably like, "Fuck my God," and turned off the stream before I could say it was a joke. No, it's just I'm busy, so we're working on it. You know, it'll definitely happen for sure because I love Antoine's work too. I'm so happy to have him on the show and introduce you guys to him. For those of you who don't know, Help for the Guildless. And Antoine here, his videos are great, and he does a live stream every Tuesday night, I believe.
Tuesday at 4 p.m. my time. I think it's nighttime for you.
Yeah, 4 p.m. 6 p.m. Central Time. Yeah.
So 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Tune in. If you don't, I will send lo-fi out to find you.
Mm-hmm. So, and go over there and check out all the artwork I did for their channel and for their avatars and everything, and help them create this whole wicked cool cyberpunk look, you know, to the proper villains. Charles Fowler gave a pretty large donation there. Thank you, Charles. Says, we love to serve my lord. Keep the great content coming. Thank you so much. And Incandescent 01, Sugar Daddy's back. What's up, man? Magog, I'm going away. SideQuest seems to have died, so I'm going to buy a new car for me and my brother. The money I used to give you isn't gone now. That's fine, man. I appreciate you, everything you've given. SideQuest, though, I'm happy to announce, is not dead. Me and Beardy will be doing another kind of pre-SideQuest thing Monday night. But then after that, when our new co-host has all her video footage in and the pictures, and I do the new overlays, sometime next month, we're launching SideQuest Season 2. It's going to be exciting. We were going to launch it this month, but we wanted a new co-host. So when Vamp left the show, it put things back, backtracked some things. But I'm really excited about the new character joining, and really excited for our new co-host to join. I'm going to redo the entire intro. We're going to have all kinds of new, you know, overlay things and fun little things that'll play, and the health bars will be different, and it's going to be fun. So just be patient. Incandescent 01 says also, my mom's clutch died, and my brother's car engine requires 4 virgin sacrifices a day at this point. We're running out of virgins, so must rebuild it. Well, you got to do what you got to do. And I know clutches are a pain in the fucking ass. I'd rather, you know, like these people like use their clutch to slow down instead of their brake.
Yeah.
I've never done that. People are like, but it saves your brakes. I would rather fucking change brake pads than a clutch.
Right? I was driving, man, there are certain things, the only stuff that I know how to do on a car is because I had to learn how to do it. I know how to change alternators. I know how to change brakes. I know how to change oil. I know how to change a belt. I know how to change, you know, all the minor stuff. I was driving a Dodge Caliber, and it had the alternator exploded from the inside out. Like it blew outward and stranded me in the middle of Central California, in the middle of fucking nowhere.
Right.
So it was a good $10,000 4-day weekend that I didn't need, because the alternator was one of the more expensive ones, and the towing fees, because I was in the middle of nowhere, and then the stay for the hotel and all that bullshit. They almost had to redo the entire onboard computer. But the guy, the mechanic, was able to find a way to circumvent it.
Right.
I hate vehicles.
Yeah. Well, sometimes they can be a pain in the ass. When I was younger, when I was a teenager, I loved working on cars. It's what I wanted to do for a living, believe it or not, is I wanted to be a mechanic. But, yeah, that dream quickly died when I busted my knuckles enough times and got fucking brake dust up my nose enough times and accidentally drank coolant enough times. You know, you're under the car, you hit something, it's like splash, and you're like, yes, become a part of me. Become a part of me. Like,
you send the car out and be like, call me.
Yeah, right.
One at one point.
Like you get done underneath that car and you feel like you just had the best sex of your life because you're kind of in pain, but you also feel like you accomplished something. So you're in there taking a shower, washing off all of the fucking gunk and fluids, and you're just like, man, got my car fixed. I feel awesome. And then it dawns on you halfway through the shower. Did my car just rape me? Oh, shit. It just had its way with me. Sometimes I feel like old clunkers break down just so they can get touched. You know?
Probably. Oh God! I was driving around in a 1986 Chevy Nova hatchback. This car did not like to work,
right?
But I loved it because I got it for free, and it was still primer gray. I wanted to paint it like a Ninja Turtle, but my girlfriend said if I did that, she would never get in the car with me again. Because it was going to be Donatello. I was, purple racing stripe. Going to do the hubcaps like little, turtle shells. I was going to go full bore. Have the eyes be the headlights and everything.
Yeah, that's the gayest thing I've ever heard. But continue.
Well, I never got to do it. The car decided to eat itself, so I had to move on to something else.
If we get bogged down talking about cars, my audience is going to leave. So,
all right, let's move on to something more fun.
You're right. Let me read a couple more super chats. Incandescent 01 says, once you get side quests going again, I'll come back. Until then, I'm just going to be a lurker. Break job, $95 plus labor. Clutch, $700 or more plus labor. Sounds about right. Then he also says, one last thing. Last time you streamed, you promised to read my letters in your next stream. I even paid $100. Could you at least read them now? No, you paid $100. You're going to get the proper treatment. I'm going to wait until Beardy. Well, I'll do a Monday since me and Beardy are going to do kind of a side quest thing in character. I'll make sure to pull up your letter, man, and we'll do it Monday. Just don't give any more money, okay? Like you give a lot of money, and those letters are long and they're entertaining and everything, but don't you do take care of your shit first, man. But people, like, I really appreciate everybody supporting me, but take care of your bills first. Like, don't be giving me money. Like, sometimes I'll get those like comments where people are like, "This is my last $5. I guess I'll eat ramen noodles until payday." And I'm like, why are you doing that? Like, I appreciate everything, but don't give me money unless you've got unless you can afford it.
It's the dedication to the new ruler of our world. That's all it is. They're showing their support.
Yes, I know there's bribery and everything so that they're not, murdered and then risen from the dead to join the undead army and what have you. But come on, at least, take care of yourself first. But no, man, Incandescent 01, you gave $100. I'm not going to just read it on stream with Antoine. No offense.
I'm not worth it. I'm worth the subscription, but I'm not worth reading a letter.
No, we'll do that in character, man. We'll do that in character with Beardy, so Beardy can react to it as well and everything, man. You're going to get your money's worth for that $100. I was going to read it on a side quest for you, but we had to push side quest back until our new co-host is ready. So just bear with us, people. But I appreciate it, man. Go get that clutch fixed, man. Do what you got to do. And Monday night, I'll pull up your letter and make sure I have it printed out so I can read it because the contacts make it hard. I'm not gonna lie. It'll be a nice big print right in front of me, and me and Beardy will read the Incandescent 01 letter together on the stream. So, anyway, yeah, I think that's the end of my announcements. I got fucked on the home loan thing. If the United Veterans won't even give me a VA loan, I doubt another lending will. And even if I got another loan, it'd be really high interest because they'd be taking a risk on me. So
high interest loans suck.
Right.
That's why I'm in the middle of paying one back.
Right. That's why I wanted my VA loan, because it gets a locked like 3.8% interest rate.
Nice.
Because that's one of the benefits from being in the military. So if I can't get the VA loan, I don't want a traditional like FHA loan or anything. It's going to be too high for me. It's going to be too high interest rate and everything. I could probably afford it, but what's the point of doing that when I got the VA loan waiting for me? I just got to make a little more money and prove to these fucking people that I can make the payments. So Lepart is in the chat. One of my oldest Magogonites. How's it going, man? I was $1 away from retirement, but I'll give it to Magog.
Sorry. I saw that just as you started reading it.
Right. Man. Magog, I was going to pay for my puppy's life-saving surgery, but I'm going to send you the $1,000 instead. Fuck you, Free Press. He's fucking with me.
Okay, so I do these reading live streams when I'm bored at work at night. And my subscribers like to torture me. Okay? So it came up to the idea of reading 50 Shades of Grey. Okay. And I said, I'm never going to read 50 Shades of Grey. One of my subscribers says, how much? And I went, what do you mean? How much to get you to read 50 Shades of Grey? I was just fucking around. I said $100. He goes, okay, I'll have it to you by the end of the month. As of today, he got me the $100 to buy 50 Shades of Grey to read it on the live stream.
And it cost all $100 to buy that book?
No.
You couldn't buy the Kindle version?
Well, I don't have a Kindle. But that's my price for reading 50 Shades of Grey.
That's your price.
I threw it out there because I thought it was going to be, I'm not going to pay $100 for that. No, he's like, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
Now they want me to sing. My girlfriend got on Discord because she's going to be doing, I don't know if you know who Buzz of the Hive is. She's going to be doing a duet with him. So they wanted to hear her sing. So then after she was done, they go, okay, Antoine, your turn. I was like, no, Antoine doesn't sing. One of that same subscriber goes, how much? I'm like, I'm not going to put a price on that because I'm afraid you're going to say deal. And I don't want to, nope. Antoine does not sing.
Yep.
So,
the Wasatch Jackalope says, will you link this gentleman in the description so I subscribe to him? He is linked in that description there, buddy.
Thank you, Wasatch.
But also, if you want, Antoine, go ahead and type your name type something in the chat so I can give you a wrench, and that way you can spam the link to your channel a couple times during the stream. Just go ahead and do it like randomly so people can click on it real quick instead of going to the description.
Okay, I can do that.
Yeah, just type something real quick so I can give you a wrench, and that way you can there you are. Add moderator. Boom. There. Now you can just spam the link a couple of times, Yeah, everybody go check out his cool stuff. Check out the artwork I did for his channel, especially that, even if you don't subscribe and, fuck Antoine, whatever, at least check out my artwork. I'm a dick. Magog singing, oh, the humanity of it all. It's one of the reasons it's one of the ways Magog's going to conquer your world. He's going to come and sing, and it's going to cause everybody to be paralyzed for hours on end, and then allow him to just walk right into the Pentagon and, get the nuclear launch codes and things. So it's
going to be like Mars Attacks. You're going to walk by and heads are just going to explode.
Yep.
All right. Here's the.
So anyway, I wanted
There's
to call
the first spam.
There.
Go ahead. Click away.
I wanted to call this the Brainstorming or Brainstorming stream. Brainstorming. That's interesting. That could be a name for a show. Like a brainstorming stream. Brainstorming. I'm gonna do.
It has a certain ring to it.
Right,
but you have to have a lot of effects when you first start it. So like a waterfall falling onto a brain that is then shooting out ideas or something.
Right, or just it's attached to a penis that's coming ideas.
Aha.
Lepard says Magog's going to sing Justin Bieber songs. I don't think anybody. How much would somebody pay to hear that? I don't want your money. I don't want your money.
No, see, it's how much will they pay you to not sing
it? Yeah. Hey, if you guys want this to stop, pay me. Baby, baby, baby. Oh, baby. That's fucked up. Oh, I can't believe that's the only Bieber song I know. And I only know that one bit. because it was part of a meme. It was part of a meme, so that's how I know it. Pay Magog an acreage. That'd be nice. So anyway, yeah, I wanted to brainstorm a little bit, I guess, because now that I can't do the sitcom, now that I can't expand the show the way I want, I now have to come up with new ideas, because once school is out, I'm still in the same predicament I was at the beginning of this year, because the GI Bill is up. So once this terrible fucking semester is over and I'm finally done with all the art projects and the graphics design projects, the photography, and the fucking research paper for London art history, I can finally put a lot more work into the channel. That being said, I still haven't quite crossed the bare minimum I'm living off of ramen noodles threshold on Patreon to do this full time. So it remains to be seen whether or not I'll have to go find a normal job, right, and do this as well. And obviously that's going to interfere. Replacing school with a damn job, it's going to be the same amount of hours every day that I've got to bust my ass and then come home and try to do videos. But at least I won't have homework. At least with a normal job, when you get off, you're and come home, you're done. So we'll see. But if everything goes all right and I can actually live off of everything, what should I do? Because I'll have a lot more time. Obviously, I can do more Magog episodes. But now I kind of want to brainstorm, because I can't do the sitcom. My brain, my creative side was so focused on expanding this show to actually involve the world of Morskar and actually build the village and get other actors and background people and costumes and props and actually like really funny storylines and do like seasons every year. Now I can't even buy the property to do that. So now I need new ideas to go with the channel.
Well, not necessarily doing the full village yet, but do you have any like wooded areas around you? You could still do certain episodes out there, get some people out there and do some things. I mean,
yeah, I've got 12.5 acres of land. I could maybe go up there and cut some of it down, maybe run the brush hog around so that I don't get tangled up in thorns. I mean, it's a jungle right now. I mean, even in the cleared areas that don't have trees, the grass is up to your chest, like it's hay, so.
So make sure you bring your bug spray, because ticks are everywhere.
Yeah, because that land doesn't really have anything on it, I can't keep the ticks down either. Usually if I lived in the country, I'd get a few guinea fowl, let them run around. They kill all the ticks, and and they also chase off snakes. And that would keep my actor safe and look really nice in the sitcom too, having guinea fowl run around, But I don't own that. I own that property, but I don't have anything up there. I have no way to take care of animals, and using a fogger to try to kill all the insects on the land is stupid because it's a jungle. So yeah, I'd have to tuck my pant legs in and cover myself in fucking off bug spray and hope to God I don't get chiggers or ticks. But last time I did that, I still got ticks. So I got 2 of them on my fucking back, I use this tea tree oil, because it's like natural and it's not chemical, and that shit was worse. They were attracted to it or something, It
put out the pheromone of, hey, it's mating season. Climb aboard, have some fun.
Yeah, I mean, that's Arkansas in general. Like summertime rolls around and you turn on the Weather Channel, they're not talking about the weather. They're talking about like apocalyptic insect hordes.
The locusts are coming. The locusts are coming. Stay inside.
You turn on the local weather in Arkansas come summer, and they're like, now remember, people, it's cicada season, and the ones that came from South America are really loud this year. They're going to sound like car alarms. You're going to want to call the police. But they're not car alarms. They're cicadas, okay? And also, don't go outside. There are giant ticks everywhere. It is just...
It'd be even worse if you couldn't... I mean, at least they're not telling you, like, don't kill the cicadas, right?
Right, we let them migrate. They're hard to kill anyway. Them fuckers are fast. Then again, they're suicidal. They kill themselves. You don't have to kill them. They fly so fast and they're so big, they'll fucking fly and hit the wall, and then they'll be on the ground going, and then they'll be dead. Yeah,
we have something like that out here. We call them June bugs. It's these little hard copper-colored beetles.
Yep, we have them here too. Tons of them.
They are just insane.
We have so many. Around them. Yeah. If we have so many of them. Sometimes I'll step out my front door and I'll just and I'll look down and be like, oh, fucking June bugs all on the ground. Step again, just crushing them. You know,
and they don't die. You could hit them with a baseball bat and they still won't die.
Yeah, you have to step on them pretty fucking hard. And I hate it because they're also blind or something, so they'll fly right into your face. Like you walk outside and there's a light outside, like if you have your porch light on.
Oh yeah.
Son of a goddamn June bugs. My friend's German Shepherd though, she was a puppy, and I'd go over there and hang out and drink beer. And I'm out there drinking beer with him, and the puppy would be out, and all of a sudden you'd hear zzz, and she'd go ugh. And then zzz, and she's just out there jumping. Like here's the car, you don't even see her, and all of a sudden the back of the car, and all of a sudden you see the dog go snap. Just grabbing these damn June bugs out the air and fucking eat. And then she'd run. One would hit the wall and hit the ground. She'd run right up and just bat it with her paws real quick, and then
at least he can save on the kibble then, you know. It's a lot of protein for her.
Oh yeah. She loved hunting those things down. Her name's Lola. My brother has a German Shepherd too, named Sasha.
Oh, I have the bitching witch said they're stink bugs. I don't know if you have stink bugs, but we have stink bugs. Big, fat fuckers that. Oh, they're disgusting.
I hate every insect in Arkansas. It's one of the reasons I don't like Arkansas, but I do love it here, so I'm staying because one, land prices are cheap. The show I want to do, I can do here for way cheaper than anywhere else in the country. Like if I wanted to buy 20 acres of land, if I can line up the loan, it's a lot cheaper, you know? Yeah. Like I found 35 acres of land the other day, not far from where I'm at. It doesn't have a house on it or anything. It's just the land, but it's 35 acres for $70,000. Like,
are you serious?
Yeah, that's fucking nothing. You know, I could build a fucking castle on that land if I had the money, you know, but you know, in like California or something, I'd spend $1 million on a fucking 35 acres.
$700,000 for in California will get you a studio apartment.
Right, exactly. So like I love the cost of living out here. All my friends and family are out here. I do actually like the weather. I love being in the South. But there are certain things to hate. Not every state is perfect. And one of the things to hate out here is the goddamn insects and critters. We have every known fucking form of poisonous snake here. You know, copperheads, cottonmouths, water moccasins, you know, which are cottonmouths. Rattlesnakes. Rocky Mountain rattlers, they come down through the Ozarks. And, you know, when it gets too cold up there, and they'll slither on down the mountains and come further south. And Jesus Christ, some things are huge. I had one like knocking on the window of my truck one time. Like its head was up like this. And I like looked over the passenger side window. I was at a campsite. I pulled up to a campsite and I stopped. I was in a Ford Ranger. And all of a sudden and I was like, and here's this snake. Its head the size of my fist. And it's like, what's up, bro? And I was like, Jesus. At first I thought it was a puppet. I thought my friends were fucking with me. Right? Like, as I pulled up to the campsite and all my friends had already been there. We were all camping and stuff, you know, and fishing and shit and getting drunk. So I got out of my truck because he was on the passenger side. And I got out of my truck and I walked around, and the back tire of the truck had this rattle next to it. And he was going all the way around the back of the truck and up to my window, just like, hey, what's that light in there? That was a big ass fucking snake. We all slept in a hotel room that night. We all packed up. We packed up and fucking left.
I would have too, especially when he holds a gun to you and go, "Look, you're going to get me beer and cigarettes, or else the girl gets it."
I had a fucking nightmare about that snake after that. Like, I was sleeping that night, and I had a nightmare that we were all fucking playing craps in an alleyway with this snake, and he rolled fucking snake eyes and was like, "Fuck, human eyes." And I like woke up and was like, "What the fuck?"
So we live near a mountain, and where I am, we have rattlesnakes. It's our biggest problem. Well, my dad took us up there when we were younger, and my mom was flipping out, going, "Are the rattlesnakes going to be out?" And he's like, "No, it's cold out. They're not going to be out." So we go up there, we have our fun, we come down, and we get stopped behind someone. And my mom's in the passenger side, my dad's driving, and she looks over, and sitting on this rock, it's not as big as the one you described, but a good 10-foot freaking rattlesnake, just coiled up, warming itself in the sun. My mom screamed. Yeah, my mom screamed. It wasn't an automatic window. It was one of those roll-up ones because it was an older car. That thing went up faster than an automatic window could possibly ever go.
Yeah,
and then she turned around. Yeah, she turned to my dad and said, "You promised they'd be hibernating," and then reached over and punched him in the face.
Yep.
Scared her that badly.
Yeah, that rattlesnake that was tapping on my window was about 10 foot. But you got to understand, a Ford Ranger is not a big truck. It sits pretty low to the ground. It's a very small truck, single cab, had a little 5-speed in it, or 6-speed. I love that little truck. But anyway, yeah, my dad is terrified of snakes, like Indiana Jones. And here's the reason why. I'll tell this story like my dad tells it. Way back in the day, he was working for a construction company before he met my mother. He was working for a construction company in Charleston, South Carolina. And he was driving down the road, and there was a cop behind him. And in front of him was a dump truck. He was following the dump truck because they were going to the same work site. And suddenly, the dump truck in front of him, something got caught in the wheels, flew up, and landed on the hood of my dad's truck. And them old trucks they had in the 70s had the little corner window that popped out, and he had that open, to let air in.
Yeah.
And that snake, it was a rattlesnake, and it went from his trunk through that window right between his legs while he was driving and curled up, started rattling. It was pissed. Because it just got hit. It just got run over by a dump truck, so it was angry. My dad...
That truck would have been driving itself because the door would have been flying open.
My dad popped. He had the forethought to pop the truck in neutral before he jumped out of the moving vehicle. Now, luckily, because he was behind the dump truck, they were only going about like 15. It was a little country, little side road.
Right.
And that damn truck rolled off into a little ditch and stopped pretty quick. And that cop went nuts. "You drunk?" He jumped out. He had my dad on his my dad was already on the ground because he did a tuck and roll. But that cop was like arresting my father, like thought he was drunk. And he's like, "No, I'm just trying to escape the horrifying death trap that's in my truck right now." That cop went over to the truck, saw that snake, pulled out his fucking gun, and blew holes in my dad's truck, trying to kill this fucking snake. And that fucking snake got away. It didn't get hit. The cop was so scared too that bullets just went by. It was Neo, man. It was Neo snake. He got run over by a dump truck. The Matrix glitched and it appeared suddenly in my dad's truck. And then all of a sudden it was like, to the cop's bullets, and it was gone off into the woods,
It started breeding a brand new race of snakes. That was the great grandfather of the snake that attacked, that went to your truck.
Yeah. He's like, "Hey, I think I met your dad. My dad met your dad. What's up, buddy?"
We're practically relatives. Let me in. Let's crack a beer. Come on.
Okay, this is one of the funniest stories I ever told. This actually happened to me. Okay. I was driving to a local lake that I always went camping at. It's where we saw the rattlesnake. We'd go every summer, a couple weekends every summer. Me and my friends would just pack up, go for a weekend. We'd pitch the tents, go fishing. And then we'd sleep, get drunk, and then we'd go fishing again. That's what we did when I was younger. That's what we did. We worked on cars. We went fishing and camping. That's what we did. But I got off late work, so I couldn't drive up there until nighttime. My friends were already up there, set up the campsite. I was in my Ford Ranger. I had such adventures in that Ford Ranger. And I'm driving down this dark country road heading to Heber Springs, which is the name of the town that Greer's Ferry Lake is.
It's not where the Hebrews are born, right?
No, Heber.
Heber. I thought you said Hebrew Springs. I was like, well,
that's my accent.
People
it's Heber Springs. It's Heber Springs. Anyway, I'm driving down this little country road, Highway 5. And I've got the window rolled down because back then I was also just a 19-year-old kid, couldn't afford AC. We had Southern AC roll down the fucking window. And that old Ford Ranger didn't even have automatic windows to roll down, cranks. So I'm sitting there, I'm cruising, smoking, looking out the window, just chilling. Nighttime driving. There ain't a car on that road, man. Just the road's all mine. And I always loved that. I always loved going out for just a long drive in the middle of the night, no cars,
It's peaceful.
Yeah, peaceful. I had the music playing, had a little rock music on, a little classic rock, a little Led Zeppelin was playing. I'm smoking a cigarette, fucking chilling, man. Fucking shift. Once you get in the highest gear, fifth gear, man, fucking rolling, And all of a sudden, I take this turn. And out in the vast darkness, I saw these two glowing orbs coming right at me. And originally my brain was like, aliens.
Cool. It's always aliens.
Because I'm like, that looks a little weird. I don't know how its timing was perfect. But this owl. Come out of the darkness. Right into my open window while I'm going 60. While I'm driving. This fucking thing instantly, like as soon as it saw my eyes and my eyes locked with its eyes, it knew it made a horrible mistake. And it freaked the fuck out. And I freaked the fuck out. So I'm driving and all of a sudden, and this all happened within like split second too. I'm describing it as though it happened within like slow motion, but it was like boom, like right there. Like I was just like, yeah, man, going camping, going fish. What the fuck's that? And this bird was, and it started screaming and flapping, and I was like punching it in the fucking face, man. I was wailing on this fucking thing, and it would not get out of my truck. It was clawing at me. I felt blood running down my arm. I was like, you motherfucker! And he was like, woo-hoo! Ah! And then it took off. It flew out, and I'm sitting there driving down the road. And there's feathers fucking everywhere in my truck. And I'm bleeding down my arms, right? And there's like feathers in my beard. And I like pulled up to the campsite like this. And my friends were like, yo, what's up, Jeremy? And then they were like,
what the fuck happened to you?
And I'm sitting there and I'm like, and my friends come running up and they were like, what's going on? And I was like, call a rape counselor. That fucking owl, I don't know how, but it was like perfect right through the window, man. And it was like, then like years later, I watched a video on owls and they are like excellent at like navigating. Because they're not only just birds of prey, but they're not like high flying birds of prey. Them motherfuckers zip through the fucking woods around trees and shit.
Right.
So that explains how he was like, an opening, I'm going for it. Like he was able to calculate the speed of my truck and the opening's width, and it was like his wingspan, and he was like, I can make that if I just kind of tuck, And then he was like, oh shit, there's a white boy in there. Motherfucker, So
he was talking to his owl buddies, going, "Look, we've darted through trees, we've hunted, but you see that thing moving? Hold my beer. I'll be right back."
So as it happens, I got him back. There we go. Got me a nice owl. Now, I honestly, that is a true story, but I also happen to have a dead owl problem.
Hey, it works. It works. Man, you had me laughing so hard I had to mute myself twice.
Let's take a break and do some super chats and some Streamlabs. We'll start with Streamlabs, see if anybody donated over there. Joseph Kerwin says, I heard Cognitive Thoughts channel died. Apparently he's an entangled ghost now. Any chance you can fix him up? No. Magog does not bring back ghosts. He takes spirits and shoves them into corpses and then uses, and it's like a prison, and they have to do his bidding. There's a difference. Okay.
I think people just think that magic users are magic users. So, you know, you can do some magic and it's whatever.
Right. Busnut33 says, love your content, man. Keep it up and don't quit no matter how shitty it gets. Hail Magog. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. I'm hanging in there, man. We're just going to have to shift some plans around is all. Joseph Kerwin, how much to resurrect Cognitive Thought? His channel's funeral stream was yesterday. The ground is still frozen, so I think Cog's body is probably still in the Beardbarian's woodshed. I could get Magog to resurrect his corpse, but I'm his human avatar here in this world. He is going to possess me when he comes to conquer. So, maybe that's something Beardy can take up with him on Monday.
Can Magog shove Ghastly into like a burrito?
Right. Based Techbot says, Magog, there's a virus in your world that affects the Dindu and Nuffin tribes that makes them stupid. Once their collective stupidity is high enough, all of Fathom will be crushed by a black hole. That's a terrifying thought. Whoa. Incandescent 01, Magog, if you sing Bieber songs again, you won't have anything to conquer. I'll trigger 4 different variations of the end of the world. Good to know, Incandescent 01. I got all sweaty telling that story. That's how you know it's a good story, when you get sweaty telling it, you know. Do you have coral snakes in Arkansas? Further south towards the bayou, so Louisiana. We got coral snakes down there. I don't think they're actual. I think they're like a hybrid coral snake because people have had them as pets. And then they release them into the wild. Because there's the poisonous coral snake, and then there's the one that looks exactly like them that aren't poisonous that people actually buy as pets. And I can't remember the name of those. But
isn't it a gardener snake, a gopher snake, or something?
No,
like
gardener
that?
snake. Gardener snakes are usually a solid color, like lime green. They might have a little stripe down them, but totally different. But because we used to sell them at PetSmart, the ones that look like coral snakes. But how you can tell is the actual colors.
The colors are a specific way.
Right. The poisonous coral snakes.
Yeah, when you're bit by one, it doesn't matter. You're like, what color were they? I don't know. It was a coral snake. Fuck, I'm dead.
Right. Busnut33, Magog, I sent you some money. I just saw that in Streamlabs. Appreciate you, man. In hopes it will support your cause. Love your content. Love the Magog character. Keep doing what you enjoy, man, and always staying fucking positive. You will achieve your goals and virgins. Fucking virgins. Yeah. Actually, most people who've had a virgin afterwards, they're like, yeah, I kind of want a pro. Yeah, I kind of want a pro now. You know,
but they're also not telling you what type of virgins, so it could be like
That's
a virgin.
True. That's true. Yeah. And it could also be like virgin olive oil or something.
But you could cook with it.
Yeah, exactly. Italian food. So, and Charles Fowler says, was it Gemini? Probably talking about the owl. No, I don't think so. This Gemini was not wearing a beanie and didn't curse at me or anything. It screamed at me. It probably was just as scared as the giant albino punching it in the face as I was of it. So.
I worked graveyard and I've worked security, and I worked on a construction site. I'd never seen a live owl before. You know, I've seen them on TV and things like that. It's pitch black. There's no lights. I have lights from a store that's shutting down because of when I start. And I'm like, okay, this is fine. So I hear this. I'm like, what the fuck is that? And I hear this louder screech. And I'm like,
screech
okay,
owl.
I know what a bat sounds like. That's not a bat. I get out of my truck to go do my rounds. And I swear to God, 2 inches from my head, this thing swooped past me. I'm 6'3", 350. I ran like I was Usain Bolt. And this fucking owl just flew up onto one of the posts and looked at me and was like, yeah, bitch, I just made you run. I'm like, motherfucker, I will end you. I've never seen one before. It was huge.
Yeah. You know, there's like a black market for owls because of the Harry Potter movies. Like, people were buying owls for their kids and shit as pets. It's like, that is a fucking alpha bird of prey. You don't just buy an owl.
Speaking of birds of prey, did you know that Mongolians use golden eagles to hunt wolves?
Yeah.
I did not know that. One of my subscribers showed me a video of this, and they want me to do a voiceover for it. I'm like, I'll do it, but I was amazed. And then they go and try and collect the wolves, and the eagles are like, no, back off. This is ours. We'll let you have what's left.
Yeah, right? Because they are like the biggest predator birds in the world, aren't they? Golden eagles?
Yes.
They will pull entire goats off of a mountain. Have you seen those videos where them golden eagles are just like snatch, throw, and the goat's like, fuck, splat.
The saying is honey badger doesn't give a fuck. No, it's golden eagles who don't give a fuck.
Yeah, them bastards are hardcore, man. That's some gangsta ass birds right there. They're like, drive by, splat. Oh man, what a funny. Okay, Incadus No One. As far as money goes, the clutch is my mom's, the engine is my brother's, and as a truck driver, I don't need a car. Don't worry about my money. Right on, man. But you also, I know people got to do what they got to do, man. Clutches are expensive. I need your help in dealing with a matter. The gods I have contacted refuse to help us out, but I can try calling my sister, who's a strong warrior, says Base Techbot. Well, the gods are fickle.
And didn't really give you any information of what he needs your help with.
Yep. He didn't please explain what you need help with, but if the gods are ignoring you, that makes sense because they're gods. Gods are fickle. They really don't care about you. They don't care about any mortal. They have god shit to do. Inga doesn't know one. Again, I know enough not to spend all my money on Magog. I deal with my shit on Friday. When I get paid, I pay you on Monday and reserve enough to eat. Hey, man, do what you do. That's why I call you Sugar Daddy. But like I said, I'll definitely be reading your letter Monday with Beardy in character, so you get the full, you paid $100 to have us read your letter. We're going to do it right.
You make the fucking monkey dance. That's what you do. You make him dance. You pay for it.
Dance for me. Dance for me, sandwich monkey. So any other funny, this is kind of a fun topic. I really enjoy telling some of these old stories from my youth and animal stories and stuff like that.
I have a shark story.
Okay. Well, since you just told your owl story, I'll tell my story and then we'll do your shark story. Okay.
All right. Sounds good.
So when I was 16, my very first job was PetSmart. And back then, PetSmarts were big, man. They were like the size of little Walmarts, and you bring your pet in, and it was all pet supplies, And I was working at PetSmart, and people would bring in the weirdest animals. People here in Arkansas got some weird pets because we hardly have any laws. People bring in foxes. We had one couple had a pet skunk. They decented him. They got him decented, but I was surprised. I was surprised. Skunks are awesome.
They're softer and more cuddly than cats.
Yeah, they are. They're fucking. When they put him up on my register while I was checking him out, he was sniffing me and stuff, and I was like, at first I was like, fucking skunk, because I didn't want to. And they were like, he's decented, don't worry about it. And he was sniffing me, and I was like, actually, you're kind of cute.
I want to.
You're not as rapey as Pepe Le Pew, like I thought.
I believe it or not, I want to get one. But they're very expensive, and I want to get it just for the sheer shock factor. Have someone try and come into your home, and then you set a tax skunk on them, even if it's descented. You'll make the robber shit his pants.
Right. So anyway, that's not the story, though. I was just kind of describing the environment. So people bring in some weird pets. The other thing that happened at PetSmart is people often brought in animals because they thought we were like a pound and we would take them. Well, we weren't. Okay.
Right.
Well, this guy come in one day. This is the story. And I see him coming through the automatic doors, and he's got this big old box in his hands, and it's kind of heavy. And he sits it on top of a shopping cart, and he pushes it up to my register. And he looks me dead in the eyes. He's got this trucker hat on. He's, Southern guy. And he looks me dead in the eyes and goes, "I don't want it anymore. It tried to kill me." And I'm sitting there at the register with my green PetSmart shirt on going, "What's in the fucking box?" like, what the hell did you just bring into my fucking store, man? So
you're channeling Brad Pitt from Seven.
Right? What's in the box? What's in the box? So I open this box, and I shit you not, there's like a 15-foot ball python inside this box.
Oh, no, thank you.
In his center, he was like this big around, like that was the middle of him, and it's just like, as soon as I opened the box and the light came in, that snake went and like one-eyed me, and I was like, whew.
Nope.
And I was like, two things. One, it tried to kill you. And he goes, "Yep." And I said, two, we're not a pound or the movie Anaconda. Do you see Jennifer Lopez anywhere? So anyway, he explained the story. He had this snake since it was like this big. He bought it as a pet. And it turned out that snake was like 20 years old, which is why he was so big. Now, like most animals, especially reptiles and fish, they only grow as big as their environment will allow them. So if you put a fish in a small fish bowl, he ain't going to get to be a big fish. But if you put a goldfish in a pond, in a couple of years, you're going to have one big-ass goldfish, right?
Right.
Well, it's the same with snakes. Turns out that snake was so loving and kind that he just stopped putting it in its cage, let it roll around the house. It got big. Then one day, after 20 years of owning this snake and having this awesome snake that loved him, it decided to kill his dog in the night and then wrap itself around his neck. Ooh. It just got it in its head where it's like I swear to God, this snake was sitting there, and then all of a sudden it just went, "I've been eating frozen dead mice for 20 years. Fuck this guy. I want a squirrel." And he never gets me a squirrel, so I'm going to kill him.
I'm going to take his dog first.
Yeah, so it wrapped around the dog, and the dog didn't flinch because the dog was used to the snake too. It grew up with the snake.
Right.
So it didn't think the snake was doing anything until it went. And then it wrapped around him. Well, he explained that he was sleeping like this. So when it tried to go around his neck, he at least had it went under his armpit. So he was able to, get out it. And then he put it in a box and brought it to us and was like, "It tried to kill me, but I don't have the heart to put it down, And it killed my dog. I called the zoo. Like, what else am I supposed to do? I called the zoo, and the lady up there, I was like, "Can I speak to the big-ass snake department?" like, I didn't know what to call it. So I called Little Rock Zoo, and I was like, "Can I talk to someone in the big-ass snake department?" And she was like, "Sir, we have a reptile department. We have reptile scientists here, whatever they're called." And I was like, "Yeah, give me the reptileologist or whatever,
the reptileologist."
So this lady come on the phone. She's like, "Can I help you?" And I was like, "Yeah, this is Jeremy up at PetSmart. I got a box here, and inside the box is a death machine. Do you guys want it?" And she was like, "I don't understand." I was like, "It's a giant snake." And she was like, "Is it a wild snake?" I was like, "No, it's a python." And it was a guy's pet for like 20 years. And she was like, she got all excited. Like I could hear her fucking panties drop because she was like a reptile lady, right? She's like, I'll be there in 20 minutes. Sure enough, this zoo lady come walking in. She opened up the box. She's like, isn't he precious? I was like, he tried to kill someone. He murdered a dog in cold blood, lady. Like, and she's picking it up. Like, you want to hold him? I was like, no, I don't want to hold him. It's a death noodle. I don't want to hold him. So finally, she took the fucking snake. And sure enough, like 3 or 4 years later, I was at the fucking zoo with my family. And
that's the killer snake right there.
There was the fucking bipython in his own little habitat. You know, just chilling out. Like, I remember you. What's up, bro? Homie? Thanks for not calling the cops, yo. You know?
You woke me up from my nap. If I had a chance, I'd kill you too.
So that's the PetSmart giant ass fucking snake story. So go ahead with your shark story. Share the shark story. Let's hear Antoine's shark story. Wait, let's do a super chat real quick. I want to keep these up to date, you know. All right. Nightmare on Streamlabs says, here's a story for you. My cousins put a dead snake in my grandma's bed, made it, and then she went to bed, pulled back her blankets, she screamed, grabbed the snake, and proceeded to spank the boys because girls wouldn't do it. It was the girls. That's just more of that female privilege. And then I have a... also, as far as the letters go, they're basically out of date, and there are 2 of them. One is just a series of jokes and shit, says Incandescent 01. The second letter is my typing Ajax Stormwing bullshit. It's well out of date, though. It was sent to you back in January, so yeah. Well, man, I'll read whatever you want me to read because you've already paid the money. If you want to write some new ones for Monday, get them to me by Monday. Best attack pet is a ram. They will break anything. Yeah, rams are... And they're highly territorial if they're the pack. You got to show them a thing or two, or they'll bump you all every chance they get. Base Kekbot, I need help in dealing with the racist didn't do nothing mind virus that threatens to destroy Magog's home planet. I do a lot of my training there. Magog will take care of it. Don't worry about it. I actually don't care. Magog say death noodle in the Magog voice, and again in the Poe voice. I need to hear it. Death noodle. Yeah, fucking death noodle. there we are. All right, what's your shark story, man? Let's do this.
Okay. So I live in California, so I live close to a beach because everyone in California lives close to a beach.
Yes.
So I was learning how to boogie board because I was not cool enough to own a surfboard. So my dad decided to take me and my brother out early in the morning before everybody got there. And it's just surfers out there at that time anyway. So they saw we were just a couple of kids. We hung out with them. One of them, I swear to God, was named Spider. And so we're just hanging out, waiting to catch waves. They helped me.
I'm sorry. Spider. You are so Point Break. I'm going to call you Point Break from now.
It wasn't me who called. I didn't call him Spider. That was what he said his name was.
Okay, go on with the story. Go on, Point Break. Go on.
So they were teaching us how to actually get the lift to get on the boogie boards to surf in, basically. Mm-hmm. Unbeknownst to me, my brother had caught a wave in, and I was basically acclimated to the water, and I thought he was behind me. So I feel something bump my foot. We're pretty far out there. And then it bumps my foot again, and I kick it, and it's solid. I look for my brother, and I go, is that? And I see he's gone. I look down, and you can tell how large a shark is from the dorsal fin to the tip of the tail.
Yep.
It was a 8-foot shark that I kicked in its side. It was coming around because I had pissed it off. There were 2 people that could walk on water that day because the next thing I know, I was on shore.
You played a Jesus Christ right then and there. Just done.
I don't even know what kind of shark.
What it was? Was it a mega?
It was brown.
It was brown?
It was brown. That's all I know. So it could have been fucking a tiger shark. I don't know.
Well, it probably, I don't know. It just could have been a bull shark, a big bull shark.
I'm really glad I made it in.
Yeah, bull sharks are actually really common in human swimming areas. They don't give a fuck. Bull sharks will fucking go upriver. Like, bull sharks don't give a fuck. Like, they really don't.
Yeah, they're the only shark that can swim in fresh water, and they also tan because they spawn in
not fresh water, brackish water. It's got to be a mix.
Yes,
yeah,
the mix. So it's shallow, so the pups tan in the sun, and then they go into deeper water and they lose their tan. I thank you, Discovery Channel. You know.
Right. But, Shark Week. Shark Week.
But I also know that bull sharks are very territorial, and they're also very aggressive if provoked. If it was a bull shark, I provoked it by kicking it in the face. You know, it's
right. Like if it was a tiger shark, they're highly aggressive. So if it was a tiger shark, I'd imagine it might have taken a chomp at you. But then again, I don't know, because I've seen footage of these helicopters flying over and how like thousands of people swimming, and there's tiger sharks just right in between all the people, and nobody notices.
Yeah, there's. I think the statistic is no matter where you are on the beach, like near the shore, near the break, there is a shark no farther than 10 feet away from you at all times.
Yeah. Like sharks are like they're really attracted to the splashing water and everything. I mean, it's instinctual for them. It sounds like a dying fish, you know. But when they get there, half the time they're not interested in humans. Most of the time, when they bite you, they let go.
It's just a taste. Yeah. It
just
so happens if it's a great white that takes a nibble on you, it just happens to take, your whole leg. So.
Right. That's how people die of shark attacks is sharks, they don't like the taste of us, but if they try us, it is highly likely it's going to put a big fucking hole in you, so, but you kicked a shark. You're the only man I've ever met personally talked to that has played footsie with a shark. I love those shark memes though. Like I saw one the other day on Twitter where these swimmers are in the shark cage, right? Yes. And they've got the cameras, and they're sitting there and they're like moving around, and all the sharks are around them. It's all these threshers, these thresher sharks, and they're sitting there and they're like filming the thresher sharks, and the one swimmer just like turns around, and the camera goes like this, and this thresher is stuck in the hole of the cage, just. Like right behind the other diver, and the guy holding the camera's like they didn't even notice because they're facing this way. Like, look at all the pretty sharks. This one's behind them, like figuring out how to squeeze through.
Well, my girlfriend thinks I'm insane because I want to go. I want to go. Well, one, I want to go shark fishing. I've never done it, but I also want to go into a shark cage. And I want to go where the great whites are. I want to see one. I want to see one up close. She thinks I'm insane, and she says, "Don't tell me when you're going to do it. Just tell me when you're done."
Right. I'm going to tell you the same thing that the captain told what's his name in Jaws?
Oh, Matt. Yes.
Yeah.
Matt Hooper.
Yeah, Hooper. You go in the cage. Cage goes in the water. Sharks in the water. Farewell and adieu to you fair Spanish ladies.
And yes, and because of Mythbusters, I know for a fact that a 25-foot shark can indeed barrel its way into the shark cage if it wants to.
Oh yeah. No, if it wants to. The thing is, the horror movie exaggerates, but obviously sharks don't really have that big of an interest. The reason why a lot of the footage you see on Discovery Channel, that shark gets real up to that cage.
Well, they've been chumming the waters.
Yeah, they've been chumming the waters, and oftentimes the divers also have a fucking bucket of dead fish, and they'll go, are you ready to get the shot? And then they'll drop the fish right when that fucking shark's like, give it, motherfucker, So
someone in your chat says that Jackalope, Wasatch Jackalope's not. I thought it said he's never seen Jaws. I was about to chew him out.
Oh no! Have you not seen Jaws? It's one of my favorite movies. I just drew a blank on the names of the characters because I'm talking.
It's hands down my favorite movie.
Yeah, you got Chief Brody, you got fucking Hooper. I love that whole probably my favorite scene of that movie has got to be.
The story scene,
the actual story scene where he talks about the Indianapolis, because that's the part of the story in storytelling. That's what we call it's an archetypical, facing the monster plot, right?
Right.
It's been around since Beowulf. Well, that's the part of the facing of the monster that the heroes actually kind of come together and form the bond that would eventually lead to defeating the monster.
Right.
And you get that in quest stories and everything. And it was such a brilliantly acted, you know.
Robert Shaw not made it up, but he made the story the way he told it up on the fly.
Yeah, he improv'd it.
Yeah, because they wanted him to do something completely different.
Right.
So yeah, that whole scene was great, and it, out of all of them, it is one of my top 10. My favorite scene in Jaws is actually, it goes with a story. I don't know if you know the story, but Jaws was the creation of the summer blockbuster.
Yeah.
So Richard Dreyfuss was at the premiere, and he said that everyone laughed when they were supposed to laugh, screamed when they were supposed to scream, and then at the end they gave it a standing ovation.
Yep.
Sat down, watched all of the credits, which if you think of it now, that's like 10 minutes of credits, but back then it was like a minute.
Yeah.
They sat down, watched all of the credits, and then gave it another standing ovation. He said he's never seen that ever happen again.
Yep.
That thought is my favorite part of it. But my favorite scene, I would say my favorite scene is the opening scene.
Oh yeah.
Just the party scene.
That girl swimming naked, the camera angle, the dark lighting,
yes.
you know?
And it just, her screams set the tone, her gasps and her screams and everything like that set the tone so well for the movie.
Yep.
And it puts you on edge the entire time.
What's great is that movie was actually meant to show the shark a lot more, but the fucking robot kept breaking down.
Yep.
And so it was such limited that you don't even see the shark until halfway through the movie when Brody's chumming the water. Then
right.
We're going to need a bigger boat scene. And that was like, it was an accident, but it ended up setting the tone for genres, for the movies of that genre to come, to not show the monster, right away. Like that was like, it ended up being a happy mistake,
Yes. And there are still tracks in Martha's Vineyard at the bottom of the ocean. Because what had happened was the people of Martha's Vineyard, when they were done wrapping up and they were going to start picking things up, they said, you have till the end of today to get the shit out of here, or we're going to charge you. I think it was like $1 million per day afterwards. So Universal went, okay, let's go, and grabbed everything they could and left.
Yeah, like Threx said, they technically had to waterboard that actress. And I remember the behind the scenes of her talking about that, how she actually like cracked a rib from the harness because they were yanking her so hard through the water and everything. And it was like the water was going, like she didn't have to, like that whole scene, she was actually screaming for them to stop because she was in pain. And they thought she was acting, so they just kept doing it. And that was another kind of happy accident that also caused a lot of pain, but the actress didn't regret it because she ended up really being proud of that scene because it was so real. And because it was real.
And then there were the rumors that she had been killed or she drowned in that scene, but they kept it in, and she had to come out on camera and be like, no, I'm still alive.
Right.
All I did was break a rib. That's it.
Yep. And that the same thing happened to Linda Blair in Exorcist when she was doing that real up and down on the bed thing. They had a harness on her, and she was screaming for them to stop, but they thought she was acting, and it fucking cracked her fucking back or something, like it really hurt her. And it was like, there was a lot of interesting things about the exorcism. Like at the end, the priest in the movie that always says, when he's like, what movie are you going to go see? And then the guy tells him a movie that doesn't actually exist. And the priest is all like, I've seen it, that he's an actual priest. He's not an actor. So to do the scene at the end when he's given last rites to Father Damon after he dove out the window and cracked his neck down the stairs, when he's shaking and such a dramatic scene because he's not an actor, the director, like they did that scene like 4 times and he was just too calm, because he's not an actor. So the director walked up to him and said, do you trust me? And the priest was like, yeah, I trust you. And that actor or the director pelted him across the face. and then said, "Go, action." And he was so shocked and stunned that when he did it, he was like trembling, that he just got slapped like a bitch by the director. And he was like crying and actually doing the last rites and shaking because the director, and that's also why that scene only shoots that side of his face, because the other side had a big red mark on it, you know, from the director slapping him across the fucking face. But it got the scene, man.
Oh yeah. There's some directors out there that know how to get their actors to do what they want them to do.
Oh yeah.
And so I have a roommate, and he's a lot younger than me, but he's a friend of mine. I keep talking about movies because the way he's got, you know, he's that old soul type of person. So he's very mature for his age. He's only 19. So I start talking about movies that I, you know, just throwing it out there, movies that I loved when I was a kid. And he's like, yeah, I've never seen that. Exorcist was one of them. So about a month ago, he wanted to watch it, and he just pulled it up on Netflix, I think. And he's got one of his friends over, and they're watching the build up of the opening scenes. And he goes, "This is boring. When is something going to happen?" I was like, "No, you don't understand. This is cinematic history. This is them actually building suspense for what's going to happen. Nothing really happens until the end half of the movie. It's all build up. You have to just." He's like, "No, I'm going to watch this." And he watched The Conjuring. I was like, "Really? You go from such a great movie to the fucking Conjuring? What is wrong with you?"
Yep.
Kids don't. Kids don't understand the movies that we used to have, like Terminator when it first came out, and Jaws, and all of the Exorcist, the original Indiana Jones. I mean, we get all of this stuff, and because we've seen it, and then they're just used to fast pace, everything happening because they want instant gratification.
Yep. Yeah. Well, that's kind of the new age anyway. Malachite says Jaws pretty much ended people swimming at night. LOL. That's true. Jaws cleared beaches that summer. Like people
It also started the great shark hunt. It started making sharks start to go extinct because it put so much fear into people.
Yeah, it was just a fucking movie. You know? Oh, Jesus. But, you know, my mom went and saw it in theater. She told me she stayed for the whole thing, but she didn't stay for The Exorcist. She got him and walked out. Nobody had ever seen anything like that before back then. So people went to see The Exorcist. People were throwing up in the fucking aisle. You know?
Yeah, because
nowadays people have are desensitized. You can watch something like Saw and be okay. But like back then people had never seen anything like that. Yeah, they were freaked out. Them people have never seen a movie like that.
So, okay. My mom was raised Catholic. She was out with and it was around when Exorcist came out. She was young, and her mother, my grandmother, forbade her from going to see that movie because it was against the word of God. It was against, you know, it's a real portrayal of an exorcism, all that, you know, all the doom and gloom that they preached. And so my mom, being the teenage girl that she was, said, "I'm going to go spend the night at my friend's house." Now her friend's mom was not so stingy about seeing the movie, so they snuck in to go see the movie.
Right.
Was scared through the whole thing, had a great time, came back, still had the sleepover. Halfway through the night, the bed broke. Both my mom and her friend screamed until their voices were hoarse because they thought they were possessed for going to go see the movie. My mom said her friend's mom had to call my grandmother to come get her because she was so out of her mind thinking that she was possessed.
Yeah, that'll freak you out. Watsalot Grew says, "Good night, Magog, and not gay Point Break."
God.
Amityville, people are talking about Amityville. That's a classic. Mostly because that actually like surrounded a real life thing that happened. Some guy went psycho, you know. But what's funny is if you actually go to the real, like the house that the actual real life incident that Amityville's based on, it's like
it's not
normal.
The house.
Yeah, it's like a normal ranch style 70s house. They chose a totally different house for the movie because it looked creepy.
Yeah,
you know?
Because of the two windows with the eyes.
Right. It made it kind of look like the house had a face. You know, it was kind of creepy. So, My dad said, the Wasatch Jackalope says, my dad said my mom made him walk out of Last House on the Left. I don't blame him there. That one, Last House on the Left, is hard to watch because of the brutal rape scene. Like, usually, like in film, up until that point, rape was implied, but never really shown. Yeah. In such a graphic way, except for maybe movies like Clockwork Orange, which, you know, kind of started Stanley Kubrick kind of started he invented the word ultraviolence, or basically the writer of Clockwork Orange did. But, it, you know, like before that, if there was like rape, it was more implied. The only movies that stick out to me from that long ago are Last House on the Left that had brutal rape scenes like that. Last House on the Left, The Hills Have Eyes, the original. And,
yes.
And
no, Cuddles, you're not hearing you're not hearing moaning. It's my daughter. She's jumping up and down on the bed.
Yeah. Cuddles, it's a tumor. It's not a tuna. Singing in the rain. I'm singing in the rain. That I can't believe, like, you go back and watch Clockwork Orange and you're like, fuck, Malcolm McDowell is fucking young. You know, because then you fast forward and see him in some movie or some TV show, like he was on like The Mentalist and things like that. You're like, fuck, he got old, man.
Yeah, and he did not age. He did not age well.
Yeah, he has like these holes in his nose. He has these really big pores in his nose, you know. Call me Oz. Get back in the dungeon. Boys have a penis, girls have a vagina. Yes. I Spit on Your Grave was brutal to watch too. Yeah, Brad Young's right about that. Spit on Your Grave. But at least that one has like a good, proper, like, revenge part. So, like, yeah, it's hard to watch because it's like, damn, that's a brutal rape scene. But at least she, like, fucks them up hardcore on the end of the movie. Last House on the Left was more about rescuing the girl, the parents, you know.
Yeah.
If I remember right, it's not like those are my favorite movies, you know.
Yeah. What was it? Cannibal Holocaust was another old school crazy movie.
Yeah.
When it was found footage before found footage was cool.
Yeah. No, I was such a fan of Richard Matheson, the writer, growing up, that I watched every movie that was based on his short stories. Every movie or TV show. He's kind of, outside of like H.P. Lovecraft and Poe, Edgar Allan Poe, not a dead bird. Matheson is kind of like I would say if Poe and H.P. Lovecraft are the great grandfathers of modern horror, then Matheson is the grandfather, because Matheson wrote so many stories, and so many of them made movies, and so many of them made TV shows, especially Twilight Zone. He mostly wrote to make money. He wrote for Twilight Zone. Like the short story Terror at 20,000 Feet is a famous Twilight Zone episode, you know?
Yeah.
But, yeah, there's something on the wing, thing on the wing. William Shatner, you know? Fuck! There's something on the wing, some alien thing on the wing of the Enterprise. You know, like, like that was Matheson. He wrote A Stir of Echoes. He wrote What Dreams May Come. He wrote I Am Legend. This guy was fucking brilliant. He wrote The Legend of Hell House. Like,
nice.
That was Matheson, man.
They still haven't gotten I Am Legend correct yet.
Yeah, they have. The very first one, Last Man on Earth with Vincent Price. It follows the story perfectly.
Very true.
Even with him, like, you trying the running water to keep the vampires away and everything. It's an old black and white movie, but it's the only one that actually came close. After that, they attempted to make it in the 70s with Charlton Heston. That was called Omega Man.
Yeah.
But once again, they fucked it up. They made it like fucking mutants in Harlem or something. They weren't even vampires. And then, of course, everybody remembers the shit Will Smith movie.
Right. Paradox guy said Night of the Living Dead. He watched it when he was 8, and that was a bad idea. I know for a fact it was, because I started getting into horror movies when I was 10, and my first introduction was the very first Nightmare on Elm Street. And I went back and told my mom about, hey, Nightmare on Elm Street's really cool. And she's like, you like horror movies? I was like, well, I'm starting to. And she goes, okay, I got a horror movie for you, but we're not going to watch it until tonight. I'm 10 years old. She shuts off all the lights, puts popcorn in my lap in a bowl and everything like that, sits me down, shows me the black and white version of original Night of the Living Dead. I slept with my lights on for 2 months. Yep. I could not sleep. I hate zombies.
I never got scared of horror movies. I was instantly drawn to them. My mother was freaked out about that. Because the other two kids, my other siblings, were like, yeah, they'd run out the room when, you know, we were kids. When my mom would put on a horror movie, I'd sit there. This is so cool. You know, like, so like I was the only one in the family who loved movies like Monster Squad and, you know, like the kids' monster movies were fucking awesome to me. You know, and fucking Lost Boys and stuff like that, like those 80s movies, because I was in the 80s and raised in the early 90s. The first horror movie my mom introduced me to did freak me out. Don't get me wrong, I was a kid. I'm not trying to play up that I was strong. It freaked me out, but I also had such a fascination that even though it freaked me out, I was right back to it. And the first horror movie my mom ever let me watch with her, I couldn't sleep one night. So I guess she tried the whole like 80s parenting thing. It was like, you can stay up if you can sit through this movie, or do you want to go to bed type of thing, you know? Right. And she thought I would go run into my room. She put on Alien.
Ooh. Your mom went. Yeah. Right. Your mom was trying to scare the living shit out of you.
She put on Alien, and I made it through probably 3/4 of that film. I didn't even freak out when the thing come out the guy's chest, but I did freak out when the actual alien finally was revealed, and what it actually looked like all grown up.
Right.
And I was like, I want to go to bed now. But weirdly enough, my mom was like, that'll teach him for trying to stay up late. Next night, I was like, can we watch it again? You know, like, because I was like after that, my mom even bought me the Alien toys. Like I had the little fucking Queen Alien from Aliens.
I did too.
You know, I had Ripley and the little yellow robot. Those toys are worth a fucking fortune now too.
Yeah, mine got lost when I got divorced.
The good old days when they used to make toys for rated R movies that we as kids weren't allowed to watch anyway.
Yeah,
those are the good days.
I got into the comics because of those movies.
Mm-hmm. Me too. The fucking Dark Horse Aliens. Yeah.
One of my favorite ones is Batman vs. Alien, where the aliens win.
Yeah, I even have I have a Predator versus Superman.
Nice.
Yeah. That's an interesting one because the Predator ship actually gives Superman some sort of alien virus, and it actually starts affecting his powers. I guess that was the only plot device they could figure out how to like level the playing field, you know?
Yeah.
You know, because in the end, it doesn't matter what technology you have. It's fucking Superman. Like, he can see through walls and shit. You can't turn invisible for him. You know, it wouldn't matter. Even if you blasted him with your laser gun, it'd bounce off and then he'd know where you are. You know, like that Predator didn't stand a chance unless they gave him some sort of virus, you know?
Yeah. So, I mean, but it makes sense.
People are talking about all kinds of stuff now, man. Fucking Chucky, man. Fucking Child's Play. Yeah. Now,
Child's Play never bothered me. It never bothered me because
it was never as scary as I thought. Because even as a kid, I was like, just kick him. He's a doll. He's a doll. I think what freaks people
son of a bitch. Why are you?
I think what freaks people out about those movies is the same reason why, like, the Voodoo Zuni doll from Matheson's little fucking. They had a movie called the Trilogy of Terror. And it was 3 short films in one. It was 3 short stories, and they were all Matheson's. And one of them was the little Voodoo Zuni doll come to life. It was a little African Zuni doll that had the knife, the little kitchen knife, and it was like, nah! You know, I think it freaks people out not because it's a like it's actually scary. It's because of the idea of an inanimate object suddenly having life. It freaks people out. It's that uncanny valley thing.
Yeah.
You know, when I was a kid, I could watch Alien and The Exorcist with my mom, but I would not go into her room because she had a Raggedy Ann and Andy doll in there.
Those things were fucking creepy, though.
You know,
they're creepy. That's what it is. I still can't deal with creepy ass clowns.
Puppet Master.
Puppet Master is great. They actually are going to be remaking Puppet Master.
Good,
like the ones with the little puppets. If they don't keep some of the original puppets, I'm going to be very upset.
Right. What I love is like go back and watch the movies people are talking about. These are great, man. Candyman, I loved Candyman, and that was like one of those like, oh my god, the serial killer's a black dude.
Right.
Way before any of this like SJW stuff started and the whole diversity thing, to see that, because it really wasn't that common.
Right.
You know? And to see that, I actually was kind of blown away. I was like, I'm surprised they had the balls to do that with all the racially charged stuff in the 90s, you know?
And the movie itself was very racially charged too.
Yeah,
The cop being, you know, playing part and him being killed and everything like that. The story was great.
Yeah.
The sequel's not so much, but that's kind of what happens.
Right. Now, speaking of like good old, you know, movies and stuff, they're talking about Nightmare on Elm Street stuff. How many of those old like slasher 80s flicks did actual big name actors get their start in? I mean, it was crazy. You had Johnny Depp. You had Johnny Depp in the first Nightmare on Elm Street. He was the boyfriend. You had Brad Pitt in Nightmare 3 or 4, one of those two. You had Courtney Cox. Yeah, Kevin Bacon was in Friday the 13th. Yeah, Courtney Cox was. She was in. No, that wasn't a horror movie. She was in a horror.
Jennifer
Aniston was in Leprechaun. Courtney Cox was in Masters of the Universe.
Yes.
Yeah,
and Corey Feldman was in Friday the 13th Part 4.
Yeah, but he was also in Lost Boys and, you know, The Birds and, you know, all kinds of other, you know, thrillers and stuff. But the Coreys were big anyway, if it was a teenage movie, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, so many of them. Like, it's amazing to go back and watch some of them. Like Craig Schaefer was in Nightbreed and
yes. Call Me Oz
breaks your bloodlines. I think
Call Me Oz brings up a good point. Renee Zellweger and Matthew McConaughey were in a Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3.
Yep. That was it's crazy because like there was a time in Hollywood where like actors just to get a paycheck would sign up for a slasher film, would sign up and do a fucking cheesy ass horror film, you know, and sometimes they never went on to do big things, but sometimes they did. And so you always see like these great like big name actors you would have never thought, you know. You go back and look at Alyssa Milano doing that like fucking vampire movie where she has like a lesbian nude scene and shit, you know. Like even fucking Dennis Miller was in Bordello of Blood. You know, like
I love Tales from the Crypt though. Tales from the Crypt was so amazing.
Yeah, I was a huge fan of Tales from the Crypt. Demon Knight still freaks me out. I watched that when I was a kid. With their mouths would split so they could like open even their mouths even further. And Billy Zane was a great bad guy. He was a great devil.
Ever?
Yeah, he was a great devil. Oh man, he was good. Demon Knight was great. And that little fucking key with the blood of Christ in it, and they drip it. And
Smith.
Jada
Pinkett Smith was in that.
Yep. Yeah, Bordello of Blood had Dennis Miller. Bill Maher was in House. Like,
was he?
Yeah, the movie House, which were comedy. People don't know the House movies. House and House 2.
Yes, House 2. See, no, House had that the Gremlins treatment. House 1 was supposed to be serious. It was supposed to be a serious horror movie. House 2 went the comedy route.
Right.
Just like Gremlins was supposed to be a serious horror movie, and everybody went, no, they're not scary.
Right. And House 2 House 2 had fucking Bill Maher in it. Like Arachnophobia had both Jeff Daniels and John Goodman in it. John Goodman was the exterminator.
Yep.
You know,
that movie freaked the living shit out of my mom because she has arachnophobia.
Everybody.
But she sat there and she watched the entire thing. I still have flashbacks of reaching up on the fucking shower head and the spider going all the way down the body. I'm like, did I touch something? Did I touch something?
Now, Mr. Monkey Lint in the chat, quoting one of my favorite cult classics of all time. Shop smart, shop S-smart. I love Sam Raimi Evil Dead movies. I love it.
Fair.
And I even love the show on Stars, Ash versus the Evil Dead. That's great.
I have not started watching it yet.
It's on Netflix now.
I know, it's on Netflix. Like you said, we were talking earlier, you said you don't have time for games. I don't have time for movies.
Well, the reason I don't have time for games is whatever little time I do have outside of homework. is either to do content or to just watch a movie while I eat dinner or something, or to watch a show. So I can like watch a show a whole season within like a 2-week period, because I do take breaks. I just don't have enough time to do everything that people want me to do.
Right.
Like tonight, I had homework all the way till like 8:30 tonight. I took a break, obviously, for dinner, cooked up some chimichangas, posted a picture on Twitter.
I saw that. My girlfriend responded to you.
Some of them got a little crispy because it's been a few years since I've deep fried some fucking chimichangas, but they weren't burnt. They just look it because my camera sucks on my phone. Some people were like, they look burnt. They're not burnt. They were just a little dark brown on the top. They kind of crumbled a little bit. I like the crispiness though.
I can't remember. She posted a meme where it was like when you're hungry but you can't cook.
Yep.
And it's a kid with tongs.
Yep.
I was like,
so, but there's another one. Tiberius Kirk, Drew Barrymore was Firestarter. She was also in The Cat's Eye, the Stephen King 3-part movie.
Yep.
Yeah, she was the girl in Cat's Eye, and she was in Firestarter. Man, there's a lot of them. A lot of people started out in like fucking horror movies. Look at Kirsten Dunst in Interview with the Vampire.
Right, that was her first movie.
Yeah,
that was her first movie.
Yeah.
Her very first kiss was Brad Pitt's.
Yep. She said his lips were dry, like she didn't like it.
How many girls out there would love to have Brad Pitt as their first kiss?
Right. Like, and that movie was an all-star cast too. Tom Cruise, Brad Pitt, Antonio Banderas played Armand. Fuck, man, that had an all-star cast in it too, man. That was a great fucking movie. That's one of the best vampire movies I've ever seen. Even though it is based off the Vampire Chronicles, which I did read all of them, and it's Anne Rice, so like way before Twilight, there was Anne Rice. You know, that shit got a little gay, a little weird.
Not a little, very, 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 very.
Well, I don't like to call it gay typically because, I mean, I know they are men or whatever, but as a vampire, they don't use their organs. Like blood doesn't flow. Like they don't actually have sex drives in that way. But that was just her excuse to write two guys, you know, fondling each other and shit. But
now I've read Interview with the Vampire. I've read a bunch of them, but I remember reading Interview with the Vampire first, and I hated Louis' character. I hated him because of how emo he was.
Yeah, he was a whiny bitch. He always was.
Yeah, I asked for this. I asked to want to die, and now I'm dead, and all this stuff. But now I hate my existence. And Lestat's just like, dude, enjoy it. You're going to live forever.
Right. Yeah, you're fucking immortal, bro. You know? Somebody said I forgot Christian Slater. Yeah, of course. He was the interviewer. He was David, you know.
And that was his first movie back after he went away for rehab for that really long time.
The Wasatch Jackalope. Yeah, I've read Anne Rice's Sleeping Beauty. Yes. Those are rapey. Those are real rapey.
A little bit.
Those are just a little rapey. That's rape. You know? Yeah. I mean, he literally wakes her up from the spell. She's like, oh, sweet princess awakened. Oh, fuck, he's fucking me. Yeah, that's happening.
Well, she based it off of the real fable. So
no, the fable was not that. No, don't get me wrong. The original Brothers Grimm stories were darker than their Disney counterparts, but they never went full rape mode. You know,
Sleeping Beauty. Yes, they did. The original myth.
Yeah, they did, but they didn't do it graphically.
Well, no, you know, it was he had sex with her and she gave birth to a child 9 months later.
Yeah, but I mean, it was supposed to be kind of an endearing thing in their eyes because it was also written at a different time when roles for men and women were different and stuff like that. We can get into that another time. But it's not like they went like she did. I don't remember reading the original Sleeping Beauty going, and then he whipped his throbbing cock out. You know, like I don't remember that. Maybe I was reading the censored version of Brothers Grimm. You know, and they're German, so it would have been like, "Oh, scheiße on me," you know. Like,
maybe it wasn't the Brothers Grimm I was reading; it was Penthouse or something. I don't know. It could have been either or.
Penthouse fooled us all, man. I personally am still waiting for the bus load of cheerleaders to break down outside my house.
I know, right? God,
still ain't happened. Yep. So, yeah, but like I said, like they didn't like. It's kind of like what we were talking about earlier. It's more implied They didn't get graphic with it. She went straight like dark side fucking BDSM, you know. He basically went around the kingdom collecting fucking princesses and making them sex slaves in his fucking castle with his evil witch mom, you know. That was
okay. I'm kind of glad I didn't read. Is that where you got the idea for Magog?
Right? And then all of a sudden, she, like, after Stan died, her husband, she went all Christian and started writing books about Christ and stuff, you know. So, like, she switched, you know.
I follow her on Twitter, and I call her out almost on a daily basis when she goes on her Trump rants.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, you know, but speaking of like early movies before like actors were really big, like I get that like Keanu Reeves was big because of like Bill and Ted and Point Break and, you know, movies like that, but he always played the good guy. And then The Watcher came out and he was the serial killer.
That's right.
And he would strangle women with a fucking piano wire. And he was so good at that. He was so creepy, you know? Oh man, that was a good movie. And of course, you know, when you're right across, you know, when you're at, you know, the good guy in that was played by Spade.
David Spade?
No, not Spade. Fucking I can't believe I just brain farted on him because he's like one of my favorite actors. You know, he played the voice of Ultron. He was Blacklist.
Oh, yes. Yeah, I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
Help me out, people. Help me out. Fucking David Spade. David Spade is fucking Joe Dirt. Not David Spade. I can't believe I just spaced on his name. It's pissing me off now.
Well, that's why we have the internet and the glorious IMDb.
Yeah, right. I'm gonna hate myself when I hear it. I'll probably think of it right when you do, but
James Spader.
Spader, thank you. I was on the James Spader. Yeah, he was the cop in that movie. He was the good guy. You know, and that's what crazy too. Look at just some of these old movies. There was an old movie called it was called Manhunter. And that was Red Dragon, the first Hannibal story.
Right.
But they didn't want to call it Red Dragon in the 80s because they didn't want it being confused with Kung Fu movie, because Kung Fu movies were big in the 80s, you know, Karate Kid and all that. Yeah. And Manhunter, the first Hannibal Lecter on screen was actually played by Brian Cox. And that was a great film. He actually did a good job as Hannibal Lecter, but he's never remembered for it because when they made Silence of the Lambs in 92, how do you beat Anthony Hopkins? His portrayal of Lecter was fucking amazing, but Brian Cox wasn't at all terrible at it. He was a pretty damn good Hannibal Lecter.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love James Spader. In fact, that's why my favorite Marvel movie thus far, I mean, they're all, you know, a lot of them are great, but my favorite thus far is Age of Ultron. I really like it. That's the movie where the team has started to kind of come together, but they're kind of learning about each other and hating each other. There's some of them that are fighting too. James Spader's like dialogue in it was amazing. Like when he first wakes up and he's in that like broken fucking robot with like the acid burned fucking face.
And he gives that song.
Yeah, he gives that monologue where he's all like, you know, you gotta excuse this chrysalis, you know, like it's captivating. Like that speech was just captivating. They even said it in the extras where like he was there wearing the motion capture suit with the light in front, you know, and all the little balls on his face and stuff. And he was delivering that speech, and all the other actors were just like, fuck, it's James Spader. You know, like they were just blown away, you know, because he comes out and he's like, I had to kill the other guy, you know, and there's no strings on me, you know, the Pinocchio song. And it's like, oh man, that was a great bad guy. That was a great bad guy. I know Marvel movies are just kind of a rehashing of the same like villain hero plot line. Like, oh, you're gonna take over the world, we're gonna stop you. That's a lot of most Marvel movies. That's also why Civil War is one of my favorites, because the bad guy in that was not like some I'm going to destroy the world, conquer you thing. He was just one guy who wanted to just destroy them from within, you know?
Yes.
That was I loved when they kind of sidelined that, you know, like they went off the rails a little bit. they took a chance and it worked. So Civil War is my second favorite. Definitely after Age of Ultron. Now, some people judge me on that because a lot of people didn't like Age of Ultron, but I loved it. I thought Spader was fucking great. I thought the dynamic between all the characters. I loved how they actually got the Hulk kind of under control. You know, it's becoming a more solid part of the team. Definitely.
I'm definitely waiting for Infinity War. I mean, I just went and saw Black Panther today.
I haven't seen that yet, but I did just buy Thor Ragnarok and watched it finally.
See, I haven't seen that one
amazing. Yet. That was amazing. There's a few like SJW bits in it, but I've learned that that's just Hollywood now, and I have to try to ignore those as long as they're not too ham-fisted. But outside of that, fantastic film. Fantastic. I loved it. Thor was definitely a little bit of a different Thor. Like Hemsworth was having more fun with the character.
Good. Because, I mean, the Thor that we got in Dark World was mopey Thor. And I didn't like mopey Thor. And the first Thor was really good.
It wasn't. No,
but the villain was really, really weak.
Yeah, that's happened a couple times, and that's one of the problems with the DC movies. All the villains are fucking weak.
Like even if they choose the wrong one.
Yeah,
like Steppenwolf. We got Steppenwolf for fucking Justice League. Give us goddamn Darkseid.
Yeah. They like I was expecting Darkseid or Brainiac, but no, they. Whatever. Even Lex Luthor said at the end of Batman vs Superman, if you waited for the end credit scene or whatever, he says he's coming. Yeah.
And anyone who knows DC knows exactly who that's supposed to be.
Right. And then they give us Steppenwolf. And he was like overly CGI'd crap.
Yeah.
Like it was bad. And then again, like another thing that pissed me off is I went to bat for Ben Affleck. I was like, maybe he'll surprise us. And in my opinion, he did. In Batman vs. Superman, I actually liked his Batman. He was Batman. And then Justice League rolled around and he was trying to be Tony Stark. Cracking little jokes and quips. Fucking Aquaman literally had him picked up off the ground. And he was like, I hear you can talk to fish. I'm like, hey, Bruce, how about you stop fucking shit talking people who can kill you? Like, how about that?
They should have left the jokes to fucking the Flash and Aquaman because those are the ones that.
Those were pretty good, but it was still really bad, and I didn't like the kid they got to play Barry.
Neither did I.
Neither did I. No, he had no complexity. Like they tried to throw in the father, like and stuff, but at the end of the day, he was just some fucking edgy fucking hipster fucking bisexual kid or something. Like he was like, oh, that's for figure skating. Like when Bruce sees his suit, and he's like, oh, poly, metal or whatever. I use this on satellites and shit. And he's all like, that's for competitive ice skating. I'm like, the fuck is this kid? And then he's getting into his car. This is when I knew that DC was trying to like copy Marvel and like capture Robert Downey Jr. When he gets in the car and he's like, what's your superpower? I'm rich.
See, but what that did is Batman confirmed that his superpower is white privilege.
That's good. Yeah. Well, that's the thing. It would be something Bruce would say. My problem with it is Tony said it first, like 4 movies ago.
Yeah.
Like there was the original Avengers when he was like, "What's your superpower?" And he's like, "Billionaire genius, philanthropist." Yeah, it was pretty much the same line, just quicker. But it was so bad, And then the little quips, like when Superman's back and he's all like, "No wonder you hate me," and Batman's like, "I don't not hate you." Like he's trying to be all like awkward, funny, and I'm like, "That's not Batman. Batman's supposed to just be like." Let's justice. And I know that's cliche and it's been done before, but that's also why we love Batman. You don't just like change a character like that. Like that'd be like taking Dredd, right? And making him making him smile. He's not supposed to smile. Or taking his helmet off, Mr. Stallone. That's why Carl Urban, in my opinion, Carl Urban is Dredd and always will be.
Speaking of Dredd, Carl Urban tweeted out, I think it was like a month ago, that they're finalizing a script for Dredd 2.
Yeah, they put it on hold because originally they didn't want to make a movie that showed such like violent justice and like a brutal police force in a time with all like the black shootings and stuff.
It makes sense, I guess. I don't know what they did with Urban, but for him to get that scowl, it's like someone just like smeared shit stain over underneath his nose for him to make that scowl the entire fucking time.
No, he just naturally does it, man. Like he did that fucking even did it as fucking what is it, Aemir in fucking Lord of the Rings.
It's but yeah, I loved that dread.
Oh yeah.
And especially when the thing locks down and he says, "No loitering. If you're back here when I come back, you're getting thrown into the cube."
Yeah.
and then it gets squished.
Yeah. No, he's definitely one of those. It's like the law is the law. There is no gray area, you know. So even like some poor guy who's just happened to be sitting somewhere he's not, here's like 3 weeks in the ISO cube if you don't get back. If you're here when I get back, you know, type of thing. And it's like, Jesus, I couldn't wait. Like watching that movie and seeing his performance, I was like, finally, this is the dread I've been waiting for, because I love the comics. And even in the comics, like there was like scenes in the comics where he had sex and it was like laying in bed with the helmet on.
Yeah.
You know, he's like bare chested. The sheets are over him. The girls like walk into the bathroom and he's like, you know, yeah, like he's just everything else is naked, but he's got the helmet still on. And I'm watching this and it's like, I love the movie because it wasn't like this, we got to stop the end of the world. It was just a day in the life of a judge.
Yes.
Just like the comics. And I loved that. So I couldn't wait for the line. And I'm so happy they didn't do the line until like 3/4 of the way the movie. He finally got on the speaker system and he's like, "Mama's not the law. I am the law." And I was just like, ee! The little boy in me went, yes, yes, yes.
Oh God, the scene where she unloads the
Gatling guns things,
the Gatling
chain guns, yeah, the fucking
and then
mini guns.
He just comes out and wrecks their shit after it's done. I was like, God damn.
Yeah, I love that. They blow that whole level to pieces. And when it's all smoking and stuff, they're like, no way he survived. And they're all looking. And then all of a sudden he comes walking out with a guy and he's just like, yeah, throws him over, doesn't say shit, and just walks back into the smoke. It's just like, who the fuck is this guy? Like, Mama's not the law. I am the law.
That was Dredd done right. That's what that was.
And they even managed, and this is hard to do, they even managed to impress me with 3D. Because I hate the 3D gimmick. I can't stand watching them. They give me headaches. But at least in that movie, it was also part of the story. The drug they took slowed everything down and made everything really weird and colorful coming kind of off the screen. And it's like they only did that when you were witnessing things through the eyes of somebody on that drug. And I thought that was a real unique way to incorporate the 3D element.
Yeah.
Even though I don't watch it at home in 3D.
Right.
I give them props for not just making it a thing. Like, oh, this explosion, let's have stuff fly. You know? Yeah.
Like they used to in the 80s, 70s with the 3D.
Yeah, they couldn't help it. Even with like really good movies, they have to throw something stupid in there. Like the one thing that broke my immersion, the one scene that broke my immersion into the new Mad Max Fury Road movie was at the very end when all the cars crash and there's a big explosion, that fucking guitar comes flying.
Oh, yeah. And
then the steering wheel with the skull on it comes, you know, and they just had to put it in there because 3D, you know. Like, and when you're not watching it in 3D, you're like, why is that doing that? It looks ridiculous when it's not 3D too. Like when you're watching it at home and you don't have a 3D setup, and you're watching it, you're like, that's stupid. Why did they just make the guitar fly at the screen like that for no reason? Oh, it's because originally it was in 3D. You know? So let's take a break for super chats and talk to some people in the chat. We've been so
immersed in movies.
Yeah, sorry about that, people. One more thing, have Poe and Magog say Death Noodle in an episode. I imagine it will be glorious. I'll try to work it in. Charles Fowler, Modern Medusa has a death noodle. That's kinky. Ooh. Incandescent 01. Disregard the previous letters. I'm working up a new one, and I'll have it done tonight. You can still read the jokes, though. Vamp won't be there. All right. Base Kekbot says, Kekbots don't have boobs. We're born with a yolk sac. That's interesting. Ugh. And Incandescent 01. Okay, new email sent. Read that one first, but read that one first, but remember to print out the other one as well. I will do, man. If they're too long, we might split them up. You know, like maybe read one at the beginning of the show, maybe read the others at the end of the show. I don't know.
I gotta step away for a few minutes. I gotta help bring groceries in.
Yeah, sure. I'll just talk I'll talk to some fans here. So see what else is. I did put on slow mode because I was afraid the damn bots would come back, but it looks like we didn't need it this time around. And I'm kind of happy about that, to be honest with you. So anyway, got to talking to Antoine about movies. That was fun, guys, wasn't it? To hearing some of these stories. Did you guys like my animal stories? Did you guys like my owl coming through my fucking window story and shit? That's kind of embarrassing, actually, now that I think about it. I'll probably go back and watch me telling that story, and I'll probably be fucking embarrassed. I'm not gonna lie. I'm probably gonna fucking be embarrassed. Oh, man. I loved your stories. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Melissa. Hells yeah. Magog's Scary Story Time is a new hit. Dark Lord Magog, you entertain me. I am drawing stuff for SideQuest in support. Thanks, Mr. Monkey Lind. Ryan Rawlings. Magog, I can one-up that shark story. Oh, might have to have you on sometime to tell it then. I'll try, says Rummug the Orc, talking to Wasatch Jackalope. Prove it. Prove what? What are you guys talking about? Horror movie talk is awesome, Rummug. Still got to get in contact with me, Rummug. I ain't heard from you in a while. I know I've been busy with school, so it probably won't be until after the semester's over anyway. But I do want to, once I'm not overwhelmed with homework and school, especially since now I'm not moving because my loan got denied. We're going to try to launch in some more live shows with different characters, not just side quests. So maybe you'd like to join up and be a fucking orc, you know, in character and everything. Magog, I will drop you a DM on Twitter. Yeah, do it. Tell the story on Twitter, and I'll either read it or I'll have you on sometime. If you want me to read it, like on a side quest or something, that could be fun. And you're back. Are you, Antoine?
Yes, I'm back.
Okay. I thought
I was just checking Twitter. I have a bunch of notifications going on.
Yep. I want to teach you a new recipe from this world, says Melissa Rapp. She has started a cooking channel, everybody. Show your channel, girl. Put that link in the fucking description. You got a wrench. She does recipes. She shows people how to cook things. And she bases them off of YouTube characters, like YouTube personalities.
Wait, she makes recipes that are based off of YouTube characters.
Yeah. So, like, her first video was actually like a Morscar steak recipe. So
nice.
Sorry to hear about that loan. That sucks. Yeah, man. I was looking forward to that. I wanted to move. I want to expand. I want to build more sets. I wanted to do the show, the proper show, the sitcom. But looks like I'm going to have to hold off on that. Who knows, though? Maybe I can raise the money a different way, or maybe I can get a different type of loan. I don't know. I'll talk to some people. It's not completely shot, but it's looking like it at least, you know. And there's also a chance that I might have to just find like a bigger place to rent for a while and try to expand a little less, but still expand, you know. I don't know yet. This was supposed to be a brainstorming stream, but I didn't expect Antoine to come on here and just start talking movies and scary fucking animal stories and shit.
I'm sorry. I'm very distracting. It's the voice, really. We just start going off on tangents.
Yeah. I've seen a couple comments in the chat too where people are like, "That is not a California accent." Like, that's pretty funny.
No, it's not a California accent. It really isn't.
I'm do a collaboration with you, Magog, Morskar, with bells on. Yeah, let's do that too. Let's have a little collab, a little something after I collab with it. Antoine's next on the list. And then after that, I'll probably, try to do some other projects. Once again, I'm very limited though until I'm out of this fucking school semester. Even my spring break, I'm probably not going to have time to do a lot of content because I have a massive research paper on the pre-Raphaelites. And I've got to take that. Pre-Raphaelites, man. Come on. Fuck's sake.
I'm sorry, I'm not up on the hip lingo of what a pre-Raphaelite is.
It's art history. Pre-Raphaelites were 18th century, 19th century London painters who painted. They kind of went back to the old medieval style of painting when mannerism and stuff was starting to really be more popular. And they painted Shakespearean characters. So if you've ever seen the painting, The Lady of Shalott or Ophelia in the pond, because she drowns herself in Shakespeare, right? Those are pre-Raphaelite paintings. Malays, Hunt, those painters were all. They were a secret club, a brotherhood within the Royal Academy of Art in London. And they were 4 or 5 artists come together, and it's let's not do what they're doing. Let's go back to the classics,
That's actually really interesting. Leave it up to you to find the secret hidden academy of artists.
Right. So, yeah, that was my topic I picked, but I have to, focus it. He doesn't want me to do, a broad paper on the pre-Raphaelites. He wants me to focus in on a particular theme. So I'm probably going to write my paper based on the pre-Raphaelites, but also how they envisioned medieval times, because in their paintings, it's not like medieval paintings. It's very a fantasized version of medieval. In fact, the pre-Raphaelites and the way they painted and how they set their characters in the stage and in the scenes was a huge inspiration on modern fantasy artists, people like Frank Frazetta and stuff, So those aren't headphones. Cool. Those aren't headphones on Magog's head. They are meant to keep all his knowledge. It is it. So I even my spring break's gonna suck because I've gotta make time to do that massive fucking research paper. So that honestly, the things on my channel are gonna be pretty limited as far as we're going to try to get back to side quest as soon as our new co-host is ready on Monday nights, and then I'm going to still do content when I can, Midnight Jury, Magog episodes when I can. But as soon as this semester is over, I'm going to have so much more free time. I'm taking the summer off of school. If I'm making enough money, I'll do this YouTube thing full time. I'll be able to do a lot more shows, a lot more episodes, edited episodes. Start expanding the world of Magog. Try doing some of those lore videos, and then even maybe get to a point to where I'm making enough that I can maybe I don't know, go do something on that 12 acres of land I already own. I just can't build out there. It's too far out. There's no internet out there. We bought that more for fun land. It's so far out there that nobody bothers us. So we go out there and shoot guns, and it was family.
Just do whatever.
Yeah, it's just a little spot of land for the family to go up and ride 4-wheelers and shoot guns and shit and have a good time. So Regat says, keep up the good work, Magog. Appreciate it. And Incandescent 01, just remember Magog streams make money. They do, if people are giving, and I do appreciate everybody giving, including you, Incandescent 01. Probably the biggest donator to my show is Incandescent 01.
I think he's forked out enough, especially after talking about his truck problems.
Yeah, he's a good man, but he knows his limits. Though I'm not. I'm confident he's not breaking his bank just to give me a little cash now and again. So. But well, it's been well over 2 hours. So I think think we could pretty much call it a wrap. I gave my announcements at the beginning of the stream, and we had some fun talking about some things.
Oh, yes,
telling some fun stories. Thanks for coming on, Antoine.
Thank you.
Everybody, yeah. Everybody go check out Antoine's channel, Help for the Guildless. The link is in the description, but he's also probably go ahead and throw the link in the chat one more time. Incandescent 01 says, I'm your favorite friend because I have money. That's not because of that. It's not just because of that. Come on. You also have to understand there are limits to what I will do for money. You know, I will read stories and I will read your super chats and stuff like that, but sometimes I get some weird requests that I'm like, no, I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
You know,
I've had some weird ones, and I'm like, no, I won't be doing that.
Yeah. Well, I hope you all were entertained with my funny stories. Antoine came by, made the conversation great. I'd love to have you on again, man. You know,
definitely whenever I have free time.
Yeah, I look over there to talk to Antoine, and then I look at the camera to talk to the people at home. Hi, people at home.
Makes me feel special. It makes me feel special that you have to look a specific way.
Right? So let's end the stream with whatever I'm going to smoke this last cigarette. When this is done, we're ending the stream. So if there's anything you want to say, you want to address some people in the stream, the chat.
I've actually seen a lot of my subscribers in your chat. Lo-Fi showed up for a while. Tish was here.
Nice.
So I appreciate anybody who wants to go and check out my stuff. I am a young up and coming channel that have been doing this for 3+ years. I'll see. This is the fumbling that we're talking about. That's going to happen in the collaboration.
Yes, so, I really like that.
I post videos twice a week, guaranteed. I have one stream on Tuesday, which is the proper villains. You can come check out me, Lo-Fi, Brockus, and Zell, and you can look at some amazing artwork that Magog has provided for us. We play characters that are from the future, so it's fun. We talk about stupid articles. Yeah, a future. We talk about stupid articles. We're gonna have. Unfortunately, it's kind of happened. It's yes, I read books. I actually have a War of the Worlds reading going on right now. We're actually going to have some form of blood sports. I know, but it wasn't requested. It's not our request. It was requested of one of the people that's coming on.
Yeah, that's just going to be a one-off thing, though, probably. I mean, not everybody gets into that. Like, I don't do that. I just like to come on and talk to my audience and entertain and stuff, you know.
Yeah.
I'm trying to stay out of that kind of stuff. Don't get me wrong. I'd go on some of these shows just to have a laugh now and again, but I ain't got time anyway.
Yeah, I enjoy. It's the best comparison is it's like Jerry Springer. You just want to watch. Sometimes you just want to watch someone get their shit wrecked.
Yeah, so, I can understand the appeal. Like I said, I'm not, I'm not, I'm not making fun of anybody who does do it, but some people are talking about buffering. Is it buffering?
Not for me, it's not.
Okay. Yeah.
So it may just be there. That's an explanation that's going to take longer than his smoking cigarette.
Right. Nicholas Reynolds says, "What is Kumite and who is Tonka Saw?" That's a long story, right there.
Let's just say it's something that happens every morning during the week, and if you want to see someone argue or just someone get their shit wrecked every once in a while, go check it out.
I think he already knows because he spelled Kumite and Tonka Saw right.
Well, that's true. I always replace the I with an E. But
plus, I never brought up Tonka specifically or the Kumite, so
that's true.
He already knows. He's poking us.
Ah, I see.
But thank you for the donation. I'll check Streamlabs one more time, and then we're going to call it quits. So, let's see if there's any more Streamlabs come in. Nope, that's it. All right, everybody. Well, thanks for dropping by. I hope you all enjoyed it. I just kind of did this randomly after I finished homework, so there wasn't anything really dedicated. But Incandescent 01, final super chat. I love watching Magog scream. Magog likes getting my money. It's a match made on the internet, not heaven, almost not hell, just the internet. Yes, but very limited. We had to put a stop to that because it was annoying other people. Because Incandescent 01 on SideQuest figured out he could kill us because we have the health bars on SideQuest. And he could kill us with super chat. So he was like 50 points of ass rape damage, and me and Beardy would act it out. And we thought it would be funny until it went way overboard. Yeah, it went way overboard, and then everybody was like, "Well, just stop screaming and get back to the show." You know, like I have other fans to entertain, not just Incandescent 01. So as much as I enjoyed it, don't get me wrong, because I've kind of started to like the improv elements and stuff, but that's that. So, but anyway, everybody have a great weekend. We'll see you on the next episode. Will probably be a Midnight Drury on the main channel. Everybody have a great night, and I appreciate everybody donating. I appreciate all of y'all support. I appreciate you guys being patient with SideQuest. We just want to take the time and make it a really great show with the new co-host. We want to do it right. We want to have the new overlays. We want to have the new intro with her parts added. We don't want to just splice her in where Vamp was. We want to do an all new thing. So we just want to do it right. And so it's going to take some time, especially with my school. So thanks for being patient. Thanks for being patient with all my plans to start the sitcom and stuff. A lot of that's been put on hold because of the loan situation, but you know what? Just keep moving on. I love my fans. I love you guys. Fucking wonderful Magogonites. Everybody, thank you so much for dropping by. Thank you again, Antoine, and we'll see you guys later.
Bye.
Oh yeah, one last thing. Yes, rape.